Good afternoon, everybody. And I think a lot of people are calling this Fahrenheit Friday, apparently, but it is definitely still, thank Furlough, it's Friday. Really good to see you. And I'm, as always, very pleased to be joined by Jacquie Mance, who you're here to listen to, really. I know that, but nonetheless, we've got a few things to get through. Jacquie, you're saying you've got a couple of things and you're even going to share a screen with us a couple of places.
I think so, just a few bits, yeah. Good afternoon,
probably
everyone.
You kick off straight away.
Yeah, okay. Sooner down, the sooner we can all go and sit in the shade. Right, just a couple of things cropped up this week. Eat Out to Help Out scheme started on Monday for restaurants, as I'm sure everyone's aware. I did do the webinar with Amy on Monday on this, and we specialised on this and spent the whole hour on it. And but I understand that they're still waiting to get that up on live on the screen to watch it. So that will be there hopefully soon. And basically what I did on Monday was I looked at how we do the bookkeeping for it and one idea, and I had a little spreadsheet together. And of course, as you always do, I put you up a little spreadsheet and you want 4 times more. So I've updated it, amended it, put lots of help notes in it. And that is due to be released hopefully within the next week. And I'll probably do something in the newsletter next week just to explain how it goes. So anyone who was listening on Monday, we're hoping to send it to you. I'm not quite sure if that's come out yet or not. But as far as that's concerned, as I said, the scheme opened on Monday. So registrations were open. And today, the claim has opened for the first week's claim back on the vouchers. Now, I'm just going to quickly share my screen with you because hopefully you can see that. This is taken from the Hmrc website, gov.uk, and this is the information on registering your establishment for the scheme. So if you go on to gov.uk and put Eat Out to Help Out, you'll get quite a lot of information. There's some publicity material there, but this is the one at which you need to do to register. So there's information on there about when it's registered, who can register, and there is a link to the register now. Now, when you register, you'll get a registration reference number, and you have to use that as part of your claim form. You have to, there was a date I needed to give you. That's right, I'll come back to that. So this is the registration, and once you've received that, I think it's within 7 days that you can start to make the first claim. Now, once you've registered and you want to make the claim, there is yet another link onto gov.uk, and this is claiming money back and how to do this. So again, you've got all the information that you need here, when you can claim, who can claim. Remember, as agents, we can't claim. It has to be the owner of the business. You have to have ID for that, PAYE reference numbers, PAYE numbers, all that sort of thing, UTR numbers. Then have to do that, has to be done when the registration is there. So there's information about the registration and what to claim back. You'll need the total number of diners who've used the scheme, including children, the total amount of discount you've given out, and the period that you're claiming for. Now, you can claim for up to 5 periods, and the claim period starts today and closes on the 30th of September. And your periods are the 5 Monday to Wednesday periods. So you've got the 3rd to the 5th, which is this week, 10th to the 12th of August next week, 17th to the 19th, 24th to the 26th, and lastly, the 31st. And here is the button here. Now, this is above the Claim Now button are the 2 interesting little dates I found just now. If you claim too much, we will not be able to correct this until the 14th of August, which is next Friday. However, if you claim too little, we will not be able to correct this until the 21st of August. So you've got to wait a week longer if you want to go back to them and ask for more. So these are the periods that you can claim for. And what I did in my spreadsheet is I took the 5 periods or 4 periods. I don't think I've done the 5th one. I've done the 4 periods, and shown you how that one way of how that's all going to go through the books of account. It's just an idea. It may be not how you want to do it. It may not be the way the software you're allowed to do it, but it just shows you how to post the vouchers. And I've covered it for standard VAT and flat rate scheme. Now, on Monday, I was asked about cash accounting, but when I thought about it, I haven't done a spreadsheet for cash accounting, because if you're using the cash accounting scheme, it's highly likely you're using this if you're a restaurant. Because remember, the cash accounting scheme means that you pay your VAT, you claim or pay your VAT when the actual invoices or bills are paid. So on the cash rate scheme for this type of establishment, you're going to be paying all the VAT on your sales immediately, but you won't be able to claim back the VAT on your purchases until you actually pay them, which may not be until the next VAT quarter. So highly unlikely that you would be using it. So the spreadsheet covers flat rate scheme and standard cash accounting. So that's all the information on Eat Out to Help Out. First thing this morning, I got an update from Hmrc on the job retention scheme, which is this one. So again, if you go into gov.uk and look at job retention scheme, there is some more information here on that. So basically the job retention scheme is aimed at businesses who have furloughed staff and who then keep them on during the period November, December and January. So if somebody leaves before the end of January, you cannot claim the £1,000 bonus. So this is to enable you to keep them on for that much longer. Again, in order to benefit from this, you have to have submitted all your RTI information up to the 31st of January for each month or each week that you're running the payroll. You also have to have submitted all your coronavirus job retention scheme claims and to have had any corrections completed. So once you start, before they will issue with this £1,000 bonus, HMRC are going to check that everything is hunky-dory with both your RTI and also with your coronavirus claims. This is the details down here. So again, if you put a search in there, it gives you a little bit more information on there, and further information and full guidance will be issued in September. So we're not expecting much more on this one until September. And the only other thing on that is the minimum wages. To be able to claim the grant, you have to have paid your staff an average of £520 per month at least, or a minimum total of 1,560 for the whole period. So there's some facts and figures there. Okay, so let's take that off because you don't need that anymore. So a couple of things going on there this week. It's been a fairly quiet week from HMRC as far as the coronavirus bits are concerned. So we will take any questions.
Sue Bruland is saying hello to everyone. So that wasn't a question, that was hello Sue, very nice to see you. Always have you on board. Great.
Oh, and can I just say, you'll notice I'm wearing a headset today. Apparently on Monday I ended up sounding a bit like a Dalek. I think it's my sound system. So if my speech starts to go a bit weird, somebody pop a notice up.
It was sounding a little bit weird, but I think perhaps it's just the internet not very good down at your neck.
No, it's a bit has been a bit very slow today, so it may just be a slight lag. But do let me know if
Tracy says, is there anything on Kickstart scheme getting asked this by clients?
Haven't seen an awful lot of it, to be perfectly honest. I'll have a little look. Okay. I've not had anything officially that I've seen from it.
Yeah, okay.
There is, again, on gov.uk, if you put a search in, it's called A Policy Paper, A Plan for Jobs 2020, published on the 8th of July. So let me just have a look at that. What have they got on that? gone through the bits.
Those of you who've been listening into ICBT for a while will know that we had Bill Dodwell on probably within the first 5 or 6 episodes. Bill is the director at the Government Simplified Tax, Office for Simplified Tax, or Tax Simplification, OTS, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to get my initials right. And I've just had an email from him. We've been invited to take part in a consultation on what we'd like to see by way of simplified tax. So if any of you have got any bright ideas, other than don't charge it, which doesn't count, but anything else that you can come up with, please let me know. I think for many years they've wanted a flat rate tax across the board and everybody pays the same, but that is far too simple to expect any government to get that through. So, but if you've got some ideas, is there something that you think is a bit of a nuisance, it's always been a pain, and there is a simple way of reducing it, cutting it, or handling it, then please let us know, because it could just be the idea that sparks something and we get all to change that for good.
And also, as part of that, they're also looking at things like changes to capital gain tax at the moment. There's a consultation out on capital gains tax. So eventually they might all come together. The capital gains tax actually has some fairly far-reaching consequences for the amount of tax we pay, depending on what they're going to do with it.
Nikki Bennett says, I'm booked onto an Hmrc Eat Out to Help Out webinar at 3:45 today. So I may have to leave you guys early this afternoon and catch up on what I missed on Facebook later. Okay, Nikki. Well, we might be able to get you away at 3:45. I mean, most of the idea behind it was so that you could go out in this gorgeous sunshine, not see an Hmrc website, but we're, you know, well.
I think we put some links up to those. There's a number of those webinars. So if everyone else is panicking because they want to watch it, I think there's more than one. I think it's one of those you can book in on a time, or there's a few of those that they're running now. I think we tweeted it out earlier in the week.
Just getting all sorts of things in here.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the one which is not a COVID one. Sean Page says, I have a client on the FRS VAT scheme. He's a graphic designer and sells print. Print sales have dropped since COVID-19, and now he doesn't meet the 2% threshold for the purchase of goods. Well, I have to assess him as a limited cost basis for his next VAT return. Well, you're going to have to reassess him, I think, but I'm not sure how quickly you're going to have to change it on the return. I would have to look that one up. So I will, Sean, I will try and get back to you on that. We'll have a chat about that. Leave that with me. I'll get some information out to you.
Right. I've got a few things coming in here now. Not exactly business-like. It's all typical. It's the wind down Friday routine. I'm just having a look what we've got here. Yeah, oh, there we go. Yeah, a couple of things. Monday. This last Monday, we were due to have an Aml quiz. We had a lot of you booked in for that. I'm very sorry we cancelled it at the last minute, and that was because I was unnecessarily detained. Not by the police, I might stress, but unnecessarily detained. I couldn't get in. So we're actually going to do that this coming Monday. It's a bit of fun, but obviously with a series of its own, because it's about anti-money laundering. But what we're going to be doing is giving you a series of scenarios and asking you what the response to that scenario should be. Now, you will be able to, after each question, you'll be able to listen to the questions, the scenarios to put forward, and then you can quickly go on to the quiz and give your answer, whether you think it's answer A, B, C, or D. And then afterwards, immediately, it will work out what percentage of you thought A was right, B was right, etc. And then we'll have a chat about which was right and which was wrong. It's anonymous, so we're not going to come chasing you afterwards, but it will give you an idea, I think, of what we're doing. And there's sort of the main basic questions. So it'd be particularly good for those of you not had a practice license before, or had one for a short time and just learning, etc. But anyway, so I think that should be pretty good fun. Then on Wednesday, we've got second in our boxing matches between, not really boxing matches, but between our software companies. And this time we've got Xero versus Intuit. So two of our members will be jumping into the ring to talk about what they think about their specific software favorites and why and what it can do, what it can't do. Now, we had a very good feedback from the first event, which is when Chris Applin was there talking about free agents, and we had we had Miss Sage, she calls herself nowadays because of a thing there. We had Catherine Plyman on to talk about Sage. So that went down quite well. And it's funny enough, a lot of people have been asking us for a while, and we thought, well, we'll try it and see how it goes. And we had a decent number for the day. But actually, the feedback afterwards was, well, I didn't realise that, and oh, that's new, and oh, mine is different to that, etc. So it was a good starter to get people talking. So we are doing that again, and then we're doing a few more in time. So if you've got a specific piece of software that you're really keen to promote, then talk to us. Amy Copeland is doing that. She's going to get people out, or Sobi, one or the other will be sorting that out for you. So that I think that's turning out to be quite interesting for people. I'm not sure how many of these we'll be able to get, but we'll do our best. So that's Monday and Wednesday of next week, and then of course, thankfully, it's Friday next weekend as well. June and I did a virtual meeting last night covering Wiltshire, Somerset and Dorset. That was actually pretty well attended, 28 people booked in, and we had a good night. They didn't talk a lot, they didn't ask many questions. And I'm assured it's not because I talk too much, although I did talk a lot. So yeah, it was sort of a stunned silence, but nonetheless, I think everybody was, we had one interloper from over the Hampshire border, but and we are trying to get around every county in the country. We've got, I think, about 40 set branches already that are up and running, so we're doing about another dozen or so to make up the whole of the country. We're doing some stuff in Scotland, etc., etc. So yeah, I think we're getting around, and generally people are saying that they're pretty happy with what we've done. We keep asking if there's anything else we could do, and I think, like Jackie says, if you give us 10 things, we'd like 12, please. So it's always the case, but that's what we're here for. So if you come up with some really decent suggestions, we'll do whatever we can to do that. So that's wise. Double, he's done. How are you, Jackie? Any one question up there? Is that?
Yeah, we've got one that I'm just quickly trying to look at the answer. If not, I'll get back to Sean individually on that.
In that case, I will now mention that conference this year is going to be a virtual conference. The hotel have told us they cannot guarantee anybody's safety, so they have decided not to keep our deposits. So thankfully we've got that back, so that gives a bit of money to buy in some decent speakers and various things. So we'll get that sorted. It's going to be a pretty jam-packed couple of days. Amy and Sobi are working on finding the best platform for delivering this. You will remember that when we first started ICB TV, we had a bit of a blip at the beginning. So I think we've coped okay since then. But the conference has got to be bigger and better. It's got to be far more involved. You've got to have access to booths where you can go and see products. You've got to be able to talk to your fellow bookkeepers in your area. There are all sorts of things being built into this. And I have to say, because of COVID, the technology is moving on an almost daily basis. But we will be doing something to make your 2 days as good as we can. We are working also on Lucas. We could not possibly leave the Lucas for 12 months, which was one suggestion. I know a certain training provider from the Birmingham area who would not be very happy at that. I think he's still trying to keep a winning streak, winning every year for the last 10 years or so. And a lot of you, I mean, Lucas are there to reward you, to recognize you for all the things that you've done, and whether you're a new practice, old practice, small practice, large practice, training provider, software company, the Lucas really means something. And so we are going to go ahead with that. Just not quite figured out how to do it yet. And as I think I've already said, I think the Sunday night meetup in the bar might have to be given a miss this year, because we'll see how many people want to do that, but perhaps we can meet up in our own bar somewhere. So it's all going to be virtual. And that falls in the Global Bookkeeper Week. So Global Bookkeeping Week is the 16th to 20th of November. First 2 days summit, 16th and 17th. 18th is the Bookkeepers Day. That's the raising a cup to bookkeepers. That's the celebration of everything that you've been doing for the last, how many months is it now? 4 months, 3 months? I'm losing track.
Yeah.
Everything you've done to keep your clients happy. And it's interesting that at the meeting yesterday with the three counties, we got one lady who was just starting up and she hadn't yet managed to get a client. I think she passed her exams and got a certificate about a couple of weeks ago, but she's got some interest. Everybody else was saying that there is so much business out there at the moment. The clients are really loving them for being there, and they're really creating some fantastic long-term relationships because bookkeepers have stepped up to the plate. We've helped people out. We know it's difficult times, but we have had no fuss, no fiddle. They've just gone in there and got it sorted. So that's jolly good. Are you ready to go with anything else, Jackie?
Yeah, no, I've got one. Sean, I've just coming back to Sean on her flat rate scheme. I just had a quick look while Garry was chatting online. I haven't found an official website version, but it is on one of the sort of slightly lesser official information screens I found that says you do have to apply the trader test every VAT quarter. And if it changes, you must change it. So it looks as though you are going to have to assess them as a limited cost basis for the next VAT return. But I will keep looking, and if I can find anything more official, Sean, I will get back to you. But at the moment, it looks as though you have got to value it every month. Just quickly going back to what Garry said about us being contacted by Hmrc, or an Office of Tax Simplification with Bill on various consultations. We've had an email come in this week from an old contact actually at Hmrc that I used to work with when we were introducing Making Tax Digital. And we were looking at the self-assessment, and I did a lot of work with Hmrc on that, and then they put it on, and we have said it's coming in now from April 2023. We've actually been asked to go on the working party. We've had Amy and I have had emails from Hmrc directly rather than generally to say, we'd like you to be involved because we want bookkeepers to be involved, and we'd like to take some feedback from your members and things. So looks like another focus group on its way when I know what, but that's not going to happen until about October, November time. So watch the space on that one.
Great. Oh, well done with that. It's always good to have our say, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Oh, and can I also thank, last week I put out an appeal for anyone who has done some recent onboarding for tax clients onto their tax agent. I did have a couple of people contact me. My thanks to the couple that I spoke to. I won't actually mention your names, but thank you very much for your input into that. I have the information I need. I have my next working party next week, so we'll feed your thoughts and your pain points and everything back into that. So thank you for those of you who contacted me.
Great. Just a shout out to our anchor today, who is Iris, our team member, Iris Christofides. We've had Sobi, we've had Alex. They're both having the rest today, and Iris is taking over. So thank you, Iris, for keeping us on screen. What else have we got here? Yeah, we've had a lot of rather upset members talking to us about Free Agent and their latest plans to become a bookkeeping organisation, or so it seems. I've had I haven't, but we've had a word with Kevin Lord, who is our contact at Free Agent, who tells me it's all been badly put together. It's not quite what it sounds. But I know a lot of you are very concerned that what they're offering is a service whereby if you are a business person, they'll give you their software free, you do all the work at that end, and then they have a fixed price accountant available to do all your year-end stuff, etc. So many people have tried this. Jackie, you're about to say something to that.
Yeah, I don't want to go against what Chrissy said on Wednesday. I didn't actually watch it live, but I watched it afterwards, and I would be quite careful. What I've discovered with Free Agent is if you set it up wrong, it can be a nightmare and you can't change it. That's the only problem that I've found recently. I've been looking at Free Agent, but that was because the person who originally set it up didn't read the screen properly and didn't set it up properly. So it's, again, it's a question of some of these packages. I'm sure it's an excellent package. I just happened to have hit a problem with it first time I used it. And I think you've got to be careful with all of these packages. I always say with a bookkeeper, you are going to get the sort of clients, you're not going to get the new client that starts their business with £5,000 capital in the bank. You aren't going to get the bookkeepers who say, or the clients who say, well, I've tried to set this up and I'm not sure I've done it right, and all other sorts of things like that, and your heart sinks. And this is one situation where actually it's doing some corporation tax calculations which are not as they should be, but because it's been set up wrong. So that's the only thing I was going to say on that.
Ah.
So I think they need to watch that.
This is an actual scheme to do away with bookkeepers,
Yeah.
and a bit like the Intuit one, which they launched in America. I think they all flounder because I think what people forget is that the bit where people get the advice and guidance at our end of things is the bit that people value the most.
Yeah.
And what they should do is concentrate on getting rid of the easy stuff. Because if I've always said, if bookkeepers get it right on the entry level, right up to the balances, etc., then nothing can go wrong technically.
No.
It's when you rely on a computer to decide what your receipts for and put that in. And I think they were charging £45 a month or something or other for the basic service. But I mean, no chartered accountant is going to sit and look at you for £45 a month. They wouldn't.
No, and as I said, particularly with free agent, if it's set up wrong at the start, everything gets posted in the wrong place. There are quite a few postings that I can't work out how to do, but that's probably my ignorance of it. And I'm sure it's really good, but if it goes wrong, that's when the bookkeepers are needed. And I think if there's we've all said that some of our clients are really good. They'll put the invoices in, they'll photocopy or they'll photograph their invoices and upload it to the system, and you'll go in and you check it and it'll be absolutely fantastic. But just imagine trying to do that and then it going to an accountant at the end of the year. I wonder how accurate, with the time that the accountant can spend, how much that's actually going to do. So yeah, we'll watch the space with interest on that one, I think.
Yeah. And last night at the branch meeting, one of our members there was saying that she found something strange in a set of accounts. There didn't seem to be enough money going through the account. The invoices were not quite. She felt something was wrong. Yeah. Anyway, she found out that the man was actually paying himself a lot of money, which wasn't going through the books. He's now enjoying 18 months not having to worry about where his next meal's coming from. So, you know, it does happen. And I really don't think that some of the people who are talking about this have really realised just how important that basic information and understanding is.
I know. We've all met sole traders who think that the money that they take out is wages, and they put it to wages, or they take it out and it doesn't matter, and they don't understand that drawings is a drawdown on profits, not a PAYE one. So, yeah.
Yeah. I was saying last night that many years ago now, I went to do a talk at the West Midland Safari Park in Birmingham, or just outside Birmingham. And it sticks in my mind for two reasons. One, because we were greeted by Postman Pat, or somebody pretending to be Postman Pat, because it's all designed for kids. And the other one was, there was a couple there who said that they didn't need a bookkeeper or an account because they never made enough to pay any tax. So I thought, what do you mean, no tax? You don't get anything at all? No. By the time we paid our expenses and paid our drawings, there's nothing left. And when I explained that that's not quite how it works, they went pale very quickly, I'm afraid. Yeah. And we managed to help them out. But yeah, they had a lot of back taxes to pay. I think they've been in business for about 5 years, but never mind. Great.
I don't know whether it's my system not putting out questions, but we're not getting any questions. You're all very quiet today. It's probably far too hot.
I think they're probably out in the sun, aren't they, or something or other. Just to say that following my request for something interesting for Friday, the Accounts Department North East, Sue Lang here, has come up with a list of bookkeeper relevant records. So anybody else out there wanted to add to this, but we've got Bills by Destiny's Child, Money by Pink Floyd, She Works Hard for the Money, Donna Summer, Beer Money, Kit Moore. I'm not sure that one's in there really, but anyway, never mind. Taking Care of Business, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Survivor, I Will Survive, Glee Cast, Bang on the Drum All Day. Who's that by? Todd Rundgren, Taxman, the Beatles, obviously his wife one. Always on Time, Ja Rule Ashanti, no, that one. Mo Money, Mo Problems, the Notorious Big. So there we are. That started the ball rolling. So Lucy Brown has just come up with Money, Money, Money by ABBA, and If I Were a Rich Man from Fiddler on the Roof. Money on My Mind, Lil Wayne. Kirsty, that'd be Kirsty St. John, ABBA, Mine, Taxman, the Beatles, What else have we got here? Pocket Calculator by Craftwork. I haven't come across that before. Living by Numbers by group of the same name, Living by Numbers. Janine Smith from Australia says hello. I think she said hello the other day too. Hello, Janine. It's good to hear from you. We had Australia, the New Zealand, the Philippines, and I think it was South Africa, wasn't it, this week so far? So that's fantastic. Hello said the other day, and I've just been told. Actually, we all love free agents, so don't pick on them.
I'm not. I do apologise. It's just a personal thing. It's a personal, a situation. I've inherited a bad set of accounts from them, so I'm sure when I get into it, it will be absolutely fine.
I think Steve has told. I think it must probably be Sobe or somebody or other. It's not something he particularly likes. It was a board move, probably at the bank rather than theirs, and it was thought to be a great idea. And to be honest with you, a lot of people have thought of this. I mean, remember KPMG did it for a while, didn't they? £200 a month, we'll do it all for you. That folded within a month, cost them 50 million. Within a year, costed them 50 million. And we've had a couple of people. I'm just trying to think of the other one that was about many, many years ago, when even before we started ICB, and an ex-funeral director who'd taken over his father's funeral directing business, turned it into a franchise, made a lot of money, and decided the next big thing was going to be bookkeepers. And so he just had a whole set of franchisees who were basically people who walked in to an office, noted everything down on a laptop, brought it home, downloaded it, and then they had this group of accountants sitting in Manchester who sent the accounts back. But there was no training for anybody or anything. It was a nightmare, and that folded as well. He lost a lot of money on that. Howard Hodgson, that's the man, Howard Hodgson. I'm sure he's making money doing something else, but nonetheless.
Interestingly, the comment about where is everyone, Natalie is listening to us from a beach in Wales. Yes, fingers up, Natalie. Hope it's not too hot. Don't get burned if you're in the hot area. And Judith Siddle. Hi, Judith. No fuss, no fiddle in the garden in the sun. I don't know, Judith. You were in the beach last Friday or Monday, but anyway, that's great.
Well, last night we were all jealous because one of the members came to the meeting and she was sitting outside a beautiful pool and an ice villa. It turned out it was just a backdrop, but never mind. It made us very jealous for a while. So, what have we got? Got a few more of these chats. Let's have a look. Sue Bruland, to all panelists, please, sir, can I have some more? Some more of everything, or what? Absolutely, sir. If you'll tell us what more it is you want, or what of. We are. When as I said before, this was brought about as an off-the-cuff thing that I think June and I thought of doing ICB TV. Very happy to keep doing more. And once the holiday periods and the stupid period dies down again, I think we'll probably do even more stuff when we know you're all sitting there. But you are coming to us in your hundreds, and obviously here to see Jacquie, most of you, which is good. But we wouldn't give this up now. This is too much fun for us and too much information for you. So I noticed somebody else the other day was saying we've decided to start a monthly webinar. I forgot who it was, and I thought, well, all the best ideas are followed, but not normally quite that late. What are we on? D4 is this? I can't remember. I need to have a look.
I think today's 67.
Is it?
I think on my emails it said.
You are right. It is episode 67. And just to let you know, where are we? The 7th. On the 10th, so that's Monday, isn't it? There is a Devon Exeter branch webinar. We've already got 13 or 14 booked in for that, so that is normally pretty good. And we've got a Northern Ireland branch webinar taking place on the 18th. So that's another one to look out for. And where are we? Warwickshire. Actually, Warwickshire had their meeting this morning at 9 o'clock, and 19 booked in for that. So Warwickshire always do theirs in the morning, and we thought perhaps we'd see either the numbers grow or drop, and then we'd decide whether it was better to go morning or evening. As always, absolutely nothing definitive at all, because you've still got a huge chunk of people coming in the morning, and also when we do an afternoon one. So it's whatever the chair decides normally. I don't think I've got a lot else to talk about, Jackie. I don't know about you. I'm just told by June, who is the font of absolutely all knowledge, Howard Hodgson now lives in Malta. Well, I've often wondered what happened to him. So there we are, that's him. And I've forgotten what the name of the company was he started, but it was some sort of weird franchise. And we had some new people starting with the ICB team this week, so some of you will start to hear about that, and if you hear some new voices. So Sujay Patel joined us. He is going to be looking after new practices and helping them get on board, get running, and then he'll be catching up with those of you who've been in business for a little while to give you any support that you need. That's to help you run your actual practice better and know what you're about, know what rules you have to follow, etc., etc. So that's to extend the ICB care principle just that even a little bit further. You know, try and give you even more than that. We then have Maya. That's right. And I'm just trying to think where we've got here now. Feli, who joined us actually about a couple of weeks ago now, but Feli's joined us. She's looking at all our processes. She's come from one of the big financial institutions, and we've got her, so that's really, really good. We have Ima, who's joining us. She's going to be helping me and Jacquie and various other people with our reports. She's come straight from university, but actually whilst there, she did a lot of research for reports for some big organizations, and she's going to be using that experience. So we will be doing a big survey of all our members to try and find out what you get up to, what you like, what you don't like, etc. And that'll be coming out soon, and then that will be hopefully ready so that we can present that to you around conference time. And it's incredible the way things are going at the moment. So obviously, if you're busy and you haven't got time to answer questionnaire, if you could hold on to it and answer it when you've got time, the more of you that answer it, the better it will reflect what you all think. And we need to do that. And then we've got Maddie. Maddie is joining our membership contact team, our onboarding team there for members. So you'll be coming across her if you pick up the phone and talk to us. And she lives in Sevenoaks, so she's our Sevenoaks office for the moment in time, and we haven't had one of those before, so that's new. And then we have Elena, who is our, well, she's going to start looking after our Eastern European countries particularly, but she's starting off working with us, and she is going to be making sure that as the COVID clears from the Eastern European countries that we're in, we have a better liaison with them, because they most of them do try to speak English. I don't try to speak any Russian, I'm afraid, other than yet. So I you know, it helps if we've got somebody there, and she is from Russia herself, and she's over here now with her new hubby. So we're adding quite a bit at the moment. I think I've got everybody there. I can't remember. Yeah, probably. So not only have we not furloughed anybody, we've taken on 5 new members of staff to get through this huge upsurge in business. And hopefully, therefore, we'll always get to answer your emails and your telephone calls on time. The emails are going absolutely through the roof at the moment. I was looking the other day at how many technical calls Jackie's answered. I mean, it's an incredible number. So the tests are up. So far this year, we've done 25% more tests than we did in the whole of last year. I mean, that's mocks and exams and apprenticeships and all the rest of it. So we are in huge demand at the moment. The number of, I think since the beginning of lockdown, we've taken nearly 1,000 support calls, most of which, well, not most of which, but a lot of which went Jackie's way. So it's good to know we're necessary. It's good to know we're here and that you want us, and you're hanging in there. And actually, I say we are very fortunate not to have lost many members at all. I have got one thing to mention on that. Jacquie, are you ready to go with anything else?
Yeah, and just a few messages come up. Suzanne Proctor, branch chair for Aberdeen, has just reminded us that the branch meeting for Aberdeen is on the 17th of August at 5:30. I hope that's 5:30 in the evening. Is an AML presentation. So that one may or may not be on the list. And Sue Brulin came back and said, brilliant, very exciting, things happening. So.
Oh, great. Oh, that's fantastic. No, Aberdeen isn't on yet. What date was that, did you say?
17th, apparently.
Oh, that's not up there yet. I'll chase everybody this end and see if, well, have you, I presume, Suzanne, you'll have sent us information about that. So anyway, that will be no doubt on its way. Now, those of you who listen to everything we say and come to conferences and to Inspire tours, etc., will know that a couple of years back we came up with something called COPE, which is a continuation of practice engagement. And the idea was that obviously at different times throughout one's life, there are problems which come up that we don't think about in advance, COVID being a good one, but personally we might have problems and difficulties where we need to pause our business for a short period, hopefully only a short period, and then come back in when we're better or the pressure is off. And the idea of the COPE agreement was that you linked in with another ICB member so that you had something in place if anything went wrong. Now, unfortunately, we have a member, she hadn't been with us very long, but she's unfortunately passed away recently. And now we have a whole string of clients who are frantically trying to find out what they can do about their accounts, etc., etc. Now, we are trying to sort that out. The problem is that we don't know about all of them. It would appear she was particularly good at putting everything on her AML online, so we're stabbing in the dark a little bit. But I think it highlights the fact that we never know what's around the corner, and although it's a bit like an insurance policy, we don't like to think about them, or a pension. It's something I'd like you to seriously consider what would happen. Now, if you find that you haven't really got anybody that you could pass this on to, I'm trying to set up a system whereby you can call us, if you like, your COPE, and you would, if anything does go wrong or untoward, we would be able to help your clients out and find them somebody to look after your business. You know, if you need somebody. I don't think the team is very keen on this in case you all suddenly decide to make us your COPE, but certainly we are looking at ways of doing this because there are some of you who simply don't know anybody well enough to do this for. So we're working on something, but please give it some thought, because if something does happen to you, if you pass away, unfortunately, obviously you're not that bothered, but we do need to make sure that the clients are looked after because you know, we don't want that harming either your reputation or ours. So look out for further information about that. So Jacquie, there's a newsletter coming out on Thursday.
Due out end of next week. So yeah, trying to sort out a technical article for you, and lots of information coming out in that, I'm sure. One quick question just come up on the screen, back from Sian. Sian, hi. She says, sorry to come back on this. Do you think it's worth contacting Hmrc as it's going to make a big difference to the client's VAT return? This is the change of percentage under flat rate scheme, and it's purely a result of COVID. Well, I would say yes, it's always a good idea to try and contact them. If you're the official VAT agent, then ring on their behalf if you're getting through the agent support line, which would probably be easier than your client trying to do it. So yeah, I would go back, because if it's a temporary thing, then there may very well be something that they will let you do. But as I say, I've seen nothing on the change of VAT purely due to COVID. So yeah, go back to Hmrc, Sian, please.
Right. What time is it? Well, it's 4:45. It's a very hot day. I don't think we've got any more questions coming through. We've actually got, I'm just trying to look at the number here. I think we've got a couple hundred at least online from my ICB, and obviously everybody else that's coming through on Facebook, but perhaps they're just all very stunned into silence by everything you told them already. But whatever, it was very good to have you all on. Thank you, Jacquie, for joining me for another ICB TV. Thank Furlough, it's Friday. That's 2 days this week. Oh, Donna Johnson from Thurrock says hello. And then June has added a note. We actually have 4 other Donna Johnsons. So we've got 5 Donna Johnsons. And yeah, we sometimes trawling through for people by name rather than when we don't have their number. And it's surprising, even what we would think is the most unusual name, we've got at least 2 or 3 of them, which is very strange. But okay, that's good. And so we will see you again on Monday. Don't forget Monday, it's the quiz, it's the AML quiz. It's a bit of fun. We're not going to come and drag you away because you'll get the answers wrong. We won't know whether you've got the answers, who it is that's giving us the answers, but it'll give us an idea as to how many of you really know what you're doing, and it'll be just of interest, and particularly those of you who are pretty new to this. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm getting some more information here about Donna Johnson. We've got 1 in Blackburn, 1 in Grays, 1 in Southampton, and 1 in Montana, USA. So, you know, we're pretty well spread around the world. Well done, Donna. And
I'd just like to say my apologies to Free Agent. I'm going to, if Chrissy's listening, I'll probably give Chrissy a ring. If she can help me sort out my problems that this particular client has caused by the way they've set it up, then I will come back and make a profuse apology and get it all sorted. So I'm sure it's us, not Free Agent.
okay, and as I say, we have assurances from Kevin Law that they're not trying to become a bookkeeping organisation at all. Having said that, I mean, really, Free Agent and Intuit are helping very small businesses who are doing it all themselves at the moment. I mean, there is so much out there. I mean, there's 5 million businesses out there, and we've got, you know, a couple of 100,000 of those. So, you know, there's nothing really. I'd rather see every single small business get it right one way or another than all those poor people out there struggling to do their own books and everything else. So yeah, I don't think we need to take it quite so much to heart. I mean, anything that we can do to help get more people to do their books right, to understand their business and not to go to the wall, anything that we can do to help with that, and whoever it is, you know, it's what it's all about, really. We just want everybody doing it properly. So goodbye, everybody, and don't forget next week, and have a glorious weekend. Do not go out without your Factor 50 on or whatever it is, because it is going to be a scorcher out there today, and probably all over the weekend too. So bye, everybody.
Bye. Have a lovely weekend. Bye.